Alright? Do you know what it is? Every working class person could be left wing, could be a socialist, but not every working class person becomes a socialist. Some working class people go down the opposite road. They become right wing, conservative, or fascist even. So what happens? What happens? Well, everyone has their little sorry, it's dark now because I'm on the A19, but everybody has their crossroads, I suppose. You know, when you could go either left or right, and I'm turning off to the left as we speak. Yep, slip road on the left, that's the one. Cheers, ta very much. Anyway, yeah, my crossroads was probably the miners' strike. If it wasn't for the miners' strike, I could have easily gone down the right-wing route. I could have become, if not a Tory, then very right-wing, fascist maybe. No problem. Because I was brought up with racism, sexism, homophobia, you know, bigotry, casual bigotry, all the way through my fucking life. I was influenced by those sort of backward ideas, and it was only the miners' strike that forced me to move to the left. The experience of the miners' strike, of having a dad who was on strike for a full year and living as we did with nothing, no income for a full year, and struggling as we did financially. And you know, my dad fighting the government, fighting the media, fighting the ruling class for his job, for his income, his livelihood. Sorry, still got the lurgy. It's a fucking pain in the arse. Yeah, that whole experience, that shifted my ideas leftwards and developed my political consciousness to a degree. And if it wasn't for that experience, I could, as I say, I could have easily gone to the right. Now, most people don't have that experience in life, so it's more difficult for them to become left-wing and socialist. If you don't go through such an extreme situation, and you know there's not an experience that changes you in that way, then the ruling class, which is the dominant class in society, and their ideology, which is the dominant ideology, that'll get a grip of you, that'll influence you, that'll condition you, and you probably go the other way, unless you've got some other reason not to. Could be, I don't know, if you're gay, or if you're black, or if you're a woman and you suffer because of bigotry, that can turn you left wing. If you're against war, you know, it's really causing you a lot of fucking heartache to see children blown to pieces in wars for profit. That can turn you the other way. But you've got to have some sort of experience, some kind of profound awakening to avoid being controlled by the ruling class and its ideology. And I'm fucking ever grateful, man, for the miners' strike, because it really switched me on. It switched me on to a better, more rational way of thinking. I can remember being 14-year-old during the miners' strike and saying to the lads who I went to school with, who I hung around with, saying to them, we were at the shops, it was a dinner time, I'll never forget it. We were at the shops, and I said to a few of these lads, I'll never look down at someone who's got less than me again, ever. I'll never do that, because now I know what it's like to have nothing. I'm on the bottom. I can't go any further down. We are on the bottom. We've got nothing, no money. We're relying on charity to survive. And that really changes your mindset, man. And I said this to these lads. I'll never look down at people who's got less than me again. They didn't understand it. They laughed. They laughed at what I said. Because they weren't going through that. Their dads weren't miners. They weren't going through that hardship. They still had dads who were buying them bikes and fucking this, that and the other, and, you know, filling the fridge full of food. Their lives hadn't been changed like mine had. So it was totally different for them. And they couldn't see the way I was seeing at that time. They just couldn't understand it. And that's what I mean. It's about experience. And sure enough, those lads today are not left-wing. They're not socialists. They're more right-wing. And it's because they've never had those experiences that I had. Now, people who have had those experiences, that's what make up the left. And we know the score because we've had the experiences. People on the right, all they've had is existing and being conditioned by the ruling class. They've never had their consciousness altered. They've never had their ideas shifted leftwards by experience. So they've just automatically gone to the right because that's the dominant ideology in society, the ideology of the ruling class. They're just fucking puppets. Just puppets of their super rich rulers, and that's tragic. And the only hope for them is that they do go through some experience, or at the very least they connect with someone on the left who's been through experiences, and they can re-educate them if they're prepared to listen. Most of them dig their heels in, get all egotistical and abusive, and put up the walls and refuse to change when a left-winger comes along and tries to re-educate them. They refuse to change. So, I mean, that they've been conditioned to be conservative-minded, and their conservatism just quite naturally prevents them from changing. And the older they get, the more set in the ways they get, and blah, blah, blah. The ideology gets reinforced constantly so that they become just fucking obstinate conservative fools. So yeah, experience is everything, man. The miners' strike was my crossroads, and Christ, am I not grateful. Sorry, not grateful? Am I grateful for the miners' strike? It fucking changed me profoundly, and I'm so glad it did, because I would hate to be on the right now, following these evil bastards, Trump, fucking Farage, or Tommy Robinson, all these scumbags, enemies of the working class. I would hate to be so ignorant that I was crawling up the arses of these fucking super rich scumbags who are the enemies of the working class. If you're doing that right now, fucking hell, man. Connect with a left winger as soon as possible, or go through some experiences as soon as possible. Get in a trade union, learn some fucking working class history. Just start questioning your rich rulers. Stop being so fucking servile. Stop being a yes man or woman or whatever in between, non-binary, whatever they call it, whatever. Saying that, most non-binary people, I would imagine, are quite left-wing because they've had to put up with bigotry all their lives. So, you know, they're probably on the left anyway, so it's just a different subject we'll look on now. Anyway, yeah, if you're on the right, don't be on the right forever, for fuck's sake. Turn things around. Connect with a left-winger today or tomorrow. It'll be the best thing you've ever fucking done. Make that person your fucking best mate. Make that person a big feature in your life, because they have knowledge that you need to stop being a fucking servile fucking puppet on your knees, groveling before your rich masters. You didn't want that. You didn't want to live on your knees forever. You didn't want to be a fucking slave of the capitalist scum. No, you want to do right by your class, the working class. So turn it around, man. Turn it around. Connect with the left. Move left. Fuck the right. Fuck the rich. Fuck the ruling class. Fuck capitalism. Let's stand together as a class, fight the bastards, and build a better world for everyone. See you in the next one. In solidarity, as always. Bonjour.